The dried fruit itself is important because that is what makes it a fruity flapjack. You are going to limit your grade if you don't bring in a piece of fruit, okay? It must preferably be dried, and you can get those from all supermarkets. Now, to liven it up, you could, and I'm going to do it because it is a fruity flapjack, but I'm going to add some chocolate chips to mine as well. So I'm meeting the assessment criteria of it being a fruity flapjack, but I'm adding some chocolate to it to give it that extra bit of flavour. And chocolate and cherry, you can add chocolate chips. You will also need to bring, and this is important, either a square or a round cake tin or a foil tray. You can buy those in the supermarkets. In Asda, Tesco, everywhere sells the foil, like a takeaway tin that has a lid. You can buy them in like packs of 6 or whatever. So if you've not got an actual baking tray, then you can get those foil ones. Or these, I got these from Wilko's for £1. They were £1. Okay, it's not going to break the bank. So if you've got a pound shop near you or a Wilko's, you can get a cake tin just like this for £1, and you'll use it quite a few times in your time here. Yes.
Can you put it on Classroom? So
I will put it all on Classroom today, and Sir will as well, and it'll have everything that you need to bring. If you're not bringing a tray or a tin to cook your product in, you won't be able to cook, because we just don't have enough of these for 46 of you to all cook at the same time. So we don't have enough for you. So you need to bring your own tray to cook it in. Yeah.
Can we have caramel?
You're going to make your own caramel. You're going to watch me do it now.
Caramel.
Right.
Milk sugar.
Dairy milk caramel.
First thing that you will do is make the actual caramel that sticks the flapjack together, and this is where things will get a little bit more dangerous than we have in the past, because hot butter, hot syrup, hot sugar will boil quicker than water, and if you accidentally splash yourself with it, you're at more of a risk of getting the quite bad burns, because it will stick to you and it's harder to get off than water. So you need to not keep interrupting. That's twice now. You need to be really safe when you're doing it. So I've put it on a high heat to begin with, to get it heated up before I put it on, but I've not left my pan on it for safety. I'm going to measure accurately again, just a reminder with the scales. Put the pan on till it says grams and 0. Make sure it says grams. And you are going to measure accurately 125 grams of the butter into the pan. So 125 grams.
I have not.
Stand outside. £125 grams of butter.
Why is that burning?
It'll have had spray on it, that's all, don't worry about that. Then, because I'm then going to put sugar into it, I'm going to press the on button again so it says 0, and I'm going to measure 50 grams of sugar. Now, because there's something in there already, I'm just going to do it slowly. I don't want to tip it too quickly. 50 grams of sugar. And I've done it nice and slowly to make sure it's accurate. And then this is the messy part, because it's the syrup. It's tablespoon, and it's 4 tablespoons of syrup. So that's 1.
Whoa.
2.
Is it quite sweet?
3.
Whoa. Is that how it sticks together? Is that honey or syrup?
Syrup. 4. This will make the caramel that coats the flapjacks and makes them chewy. Okay, I'll shift them out the way. You could use honey. I obviously will be providing syrup, but if students wanted to have a go at this at home, then you can use honey. You can use condensed milk instead of
Milk.
yeah, syrup. And you need to stir until it all combines together and the butter's melted and the sugar has dissolved. But because this is going to get really hot, I'm looking at hob control and I'm turning the heat down to 4.
I bet that tastes nice. I bet that doesn't like that.
Lean back, please, because if I accidentally splash out of the bowl, sit down, because people behind you can't see. Sit down. I'll show you when it's done what it looks like. So at the minute, the butter's still melting. Okay? No.
It looks like egg yolk.
Whilst that's melting, I'm going to move away from it. My pan handle's to the side. I'm going to turn it down to 2 so it doesn't burn. In the meantime, I'm going to put my bowl back on the scales and I'm going to weigh out my 225 grams of oats. So what's that on? 103. I'm using up all the bit bags. What's that on?
196. Spicy.
225 grams of oats, and also into there I will add my chocolate chips and my fruit. We recommend 75 grams of whatever you put in. So if you're using cherries, because they're whole, you'll need to half them.
Will there be any bits in dried cherries?
No. If you're using raisins and sultanas, you don't need to chop them or do anything with them. They're just ready to use. But cherries are quite big. I might even half them again.
Are they like jelly type? I know they do.
Yeah.
Is it jelly or is it an actual
It's not jelly, it's an actual cherry that's been treated in sugar and reduced, and it's kind of giving it a really syrupy
It's like a liquid now, this.
texture. Yeah, that's nearly done now. Right, my caramel now, if I show you, the butter is melted and it's got an amber colour. For this, that's what it looks like.
It looks like an egg yolk. Yeah.
If I cooked that for longer, it would go thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker, but I don't need to do that on the pan, because where will it go next? In the oven. So I don't need to keep it on the pan till it goes thicker. It will go in the oven, in the heat in the oven, and it will go thicker and thicker and thicker until it makes that really nice, chewy caramel that Flapjacks have on them. So I'm just going to do my cherries and my chocolate. Thank you. I'll have a few more cherries actually. I have turned the heat off, but that's still bubbling, so I'm just going to move it there out the way. Your cherries and your chocolate, or whatever you are adding. So give me some ideas. I could add cherries. What else could I add for fruit?
Dried apricots.
Dried apricots. Dried strawberries.
Lemon.
Dried apples. You could get little lemon candies. You can, yeah. Raisins.
Bananas.
Dried strawberries. Sultanas.
Can you put bananas?
You can buy dried bananas, yeah.
No. Banana chips.
You could put fresh banana in, like banana chips, yeah. You could put fresh bananas in, but the problem with fresh bananas is they will go a bit gooey in the oven. Half a bag of the chocolate chips in. That's about 50 grams of chocolate chips. Stir it all up before you add. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can either pour the hot liquid into the bowl or pour the oats into the pan. I think because my bowl is bigger, I'm going to do it pouring the pan into the bowl so that I don't get my oats all over the table.
Does it affect the texture or anything if you do it the other way around?
Nope.
Ew, that looks like juice.
There we go. And then you stir that up. Now, this is one of the 5 cake making methods that you'll learn about while you're in Key Stage 3. There's the creaming method. That's where you make things like cupcakes, where you will cream together the butter and the sugar first. And usually the method has got something to do with what you do to the butter or to the eggs that are within it. So creaming is when you cream together the butter and sugar. The all-in-one, what do you reckon that one is? What does it sound like? You mix all of it together at once, so you don't have to do it in any particular order. So we've got all-in-one, we've got creaming, we've got one called rubbing in, where you put the flour and the butter together, and you do this with your fingertips, and that's when you're making scones.
So it makes it like breadcrumbs.
And it makes it like breadcrumbs, and you're going to be making savoury scones in a few weeks.
What do you do if you're making like sponge cake or something like that?
That's usually creaming or all-in-one. There's another one where it's a fat-free cake, but you need it to rise, so you whisk it, and that's called the whisking method. This one, can anyone have a guess, and it's got something to do with my butter, what the name of this method might be?
Butter fruity flat.
That's the name of the product, but what is the name of the method? So if for cupcakes, I'm creaming the butter and the sugar together. With the Swiss roll, I'm whisking the sugar and the egg together. What is this one called?
Combining.
Oh, not quite.
Mixing.
Not mixing.
Buttering.
What did I do to my butter? Melting. This is the melting method, and we use this method not just for flapjacks. You might do it for brownies. You might do it for ginger cake, or if you make cake tins. If you make parking or gingerbread cake or gingerbread men, you will use this method. Can somebody just go and get me the greaseproof paper out of the drawer in the corner? Oh, is it on my table? Thank you. You will need to line your tin with greaseproof paper to stop the flapjack from sticking, because you don't want your flapjack to stick.
If you put a foil tray in the oven, will it burn?
No.
It'll get very hot when that.
Yeah?
Do we have to bring our greaseproof paper?
No. I'll provide you with the greaseproof paper.
Everything's provided besides the
apart from your fruit, whatever fruit and your tin.
What about the chocolate chips?
You'll need to bring in your chocolate chips. So you just push in your greaseproof paper.
I think I'll
and then pour in your oaty mixture. Spread it out. Talking. Stop talking.
And the chocolate chip's gonna melt.
It won't melt too much. Push it down with the back of your spoon into the corners. Press it down hard and flat. If you're not doing this stage and you're not pressing it down, your flapjack will come out and it'll just crumble up into pieces. So make sure you're squashing it all down, and then that goes into the oven for 15 minutes. If you cook it for too long, it will go too hard and it'll be like eating like cardboard, like a rock. So it just 15 minutes just to make it nice and crisp on top but soft in the middle, and that's how easy this one is. But we need to be considering the fact that the syrup and the butter is going to be hotter than you would expect it to be, that we're working with the hot oven, that we're still using the sharp knife. So there's lots of health and safety things that we need to consider. Okay, any questions?
You know the you know, like the chocolate chips or whatever.
Yeah.
Could they be chocolate orange but just chopped up, or is it not allowed to do that?
It could be, but that doesn't count as your fruit. Don't be thinking.
I don't put fruit in, but I want to put chocolate
Yeah, you
orange
put
in.
chocolate orange in. Stop filming now. Stop doing a demo. Yeah.